in the Ethics and Accountability Board. I take issue with a lot of things that have been going on here. I do. And I think you guys need to check into what ethics mean and accountability really means.
Okay. The next speaker, the last speaker I have a slip for is Claire McClinton.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. And I don't usually come to the ethics board meeting, but I just had to come this time because I think we're getting off track. I wanna just go back a little bit into history. If it wasn't for the residents of the city of Flint, there would be no ombudsman. There would be no ethics and accountability. Because since the ombudsman office was launched, and every city didn't have it, we were cutting edge in even having an ombudsman, somebody to oversee our local government, to make sure they were treating residents right. 2 or 3, and maybe somebody can correct me, 2 or 3 times it was put on a referendum to get rid of the ombudsman. Y'all remember that?
Wow.
And every time the residents said, no, we want an ombudsman.
That's right.
They never could destroy the ombudsman. But if you all don't get on track, you're gonna destroy the ombudsman and the spirit of what it means.
That's right.
We know the ombudsman for what? Standing up against police brutality.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes,
Standing against abuse of the water department.
yes.
That's what we use to the ombudsman. We don't know what this is.
Yeah, no report.
And as far as Ms. Dansler, that's just sad that they reduced themselves to going after you and people getting ready to lose their homes over water.
Yeah, there you go.
Now y'all know better than that.
That's right.
That's right.
Now, don't go down that slippery slope about members can't speak or show their voices at city council, because you're going down the slippery slope.
Come on.
Yeah.
Mr. King, I remember you addressing the city council as it relate to you being reappointed.
There you go.
You talk to the council, are they gonna censor you? I remember, Mr. Harris. I remember you talking to city council about ARPA funds.
First
Are
one.
they gonna censor you?
There you go.
I remember the attorney, Trishelle Young. She went and spoke about the grocery store. So don't go down that slippery slope about what people can't do as residents.
That's right.
Because you sit on ethics and accountability. But on the other hand, be with the ombudsman office, get the ombudsman seated,
Thank you.
and get to work on the devastation and the abuse of the citizens of the residents of Flint. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you. Well said.
Any more fellow speaker?
That's it.
Not a fellow speaker. And each member of the board that would like to have opportunity to reply to the fellow speaker. Everyone on the board?
I would just like to say thank you all for coming. It was, I know you all, I'm familiar with you all that spoke, and I appreciate you for coming and voicing your opinion, and take that into consideration.
I also want to thank everyone who spoke. I appreciate your kind words, and thank you for your support. And hopefully this Ethics and Accountability Board can move forward instead of staying stagnated or falling backwards. Thank you so much.
Anyone else on the board?
I would just like to say, as well, thank everybody for coming and voicing your opinion. That's fine. I stand by mine as well. So therefore, I said what I said, and I said it because that's the way I felt this arbor. That's what I saw. That's what I witnessed. So that was my opinion, and I'm entitled to that. and I would like to address one more thing. Since 2017, 18, I have been in line at the Greater Holy Temple Baptist Church of God in Christ, getting water, taking people to get food, taking people to get clothes. These people have supplied this community for 5 years that I know of for a fact. The money does not come for free. They had to apply for it, and it has helped so many people. If you drive down Dort Highway, look at the lines wrapped around and around and around and around of the needy people in this community. So the money that they got it to help the community, and trust me, I'm a witness. They are helping the community. She ain't stole not one dime.
Oh, I never suggested.
She has not misappropriated not one dime. But I'm tired of hearing that. That's a good woman, that's a good church. Those people are helping the people of this community. So you get tired of hearing that, because it's not true. She didn't steal no money, they're not taking any money, and if they apply for it, they're using it for the people. We got a lot of need in Flint.
The point's not germane to my comment, she's just rambling. But anyway.
Public spoke without anybody interfering from here, and we took what you said as what it was. Let the board member, let the board
But
member
Mr.
reply
Chair,
to you.
Mr. Chair, can I just say this? We
No.
I am. I think we just need to stay on topic. I think that we need to eliminate all of our personal feelings
Right.
and just focus on the community who decided to speak
Well,
and share their concerns and
But that's
issues.
a-
And I think
I
that if
asked
we
the
stay
board,
focused
when you
on the
spoke- when you
community.
spoke, Ms. Danson,
No,
nobody
no,
said
no. I
anything.
think if we stay
And
focused,
we're not
then we
gonna-
won't
we're
go
not
down
gonna
this
go.
road that you're trying to
Ms.
take us
Williams,
down.
you still have the floor.
See, here we go. Shenanigans.
Anyone else like to reply to the public?
Thank everybody for coming in, giving their statements in their regards to the board and to the operations of the city. Thank you all so much for coming. This is a part of the democratic process and voicing your own feelings and your personal opinions on things in the matter of the governance of the city. So thank you everybody for coming.
Anyone else?
I would just like to say that, we wanna run a, orderly meeting, and we can't do that when everybody is shouting out back and forth. I'm gonna respect your comments, and we want you to respect what's going on up here. So, on our agenda, we have public speaking, and when that ends, maybe we should, make a motion to end it, because we didn't, so they know where we at in the program. And then, when it's time for us to respond, we want the same respect.
I apologize.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Anyone else on the board?
Public speaking time is over.
Well, I appreciate everyone coming. And, I understand a lot of what you said, but there's a lot. One thing we gotta remember, this board is here. The board is here for the charter, dealing with the charter. A lot of the things of it, I hear a lot of them say Ethica down. But as I look, Ethica got a different meaning from, in politics now. There's really no such thing as Ethica. From the local level all the way up to the federal level. I guess we had to redefine what we're gonna consider ethical. What this board is gonna consider ethical. It's just something that's not what it used to be, and each one of them got a different idea of what is ethical to us.
You said ethical.
That's a problem, that's a problem. That's a problem, because what you think might be ethical might not be, might not be what I think, or vice versa. I'm not gonna get into, discussion with it, and I want to, but this board have things they do, and when everyone is interfering all the way from the executive branch, legislation branch, and a lot of the public is in the ear, and when everyone wanna take those out, and I would say this to the board, not to the public, is the charter is where we should always be. Not what someone have opinion of, but what do the charter say? And if we stick with the charter, we can get a lot further. Personal attack, and I've seen board members having been personal attack. By the public, by the administration, by the council people, I see all of that. And those things are not helpful to anyone. And there's some things we would discuss, more so in that, but today I want to stay within the charter. I understand, Ms. McClinton left, because I was gonna answer her, I never spoke to the council about being reappointed. I was reappointed, and, it was something I would, only because I was asked, and I would not sit here another, take a 6-year appointment, and I let that known to my council person that appointed me, and I would give 2 years if I can. This is not something that I have to have, and spend my time on, but I'm gonna do the best I can. That's what I've always did in this city, and try to help wherever I can. So, but I appreciate, I appreciate everyone coming. I appreciate what you're saying, and I listen, I take it at heart, but, I hope you all think that we got some discussion that you might be more interested in by the time we get out of this meeting. With that, I'm gonna stick with my, open remarks, and I just about went into my open remark because of time. I'm not gonna do open remark. We're gonna go into review, change, and approve of the agenda for today.
Sir,
I would, sorry.
I'm sorry, I came in late, and may I just say a few words?
Right now, but we can't go back there, because then I had to do it for someone
You know
else.
where Miss Little,
Public speaker is over,
Miss Little?
and I can't, I don't wanna start that, then it's gonna still ricochet now, but,
I just wanted to shake her hand.
shake her hand.
Yeah, Miss Little, I don't know her, but
Oh.
she did something for me, and I appreciate it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, all right. Okay. I would entertain a motion. I would entertain a motion for something,
But Chair, I move that we approve the agenda as written.
Second.
moving proper second, approve the agenda as written.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Any,
What's your full?
wait a minute, come up here. Oh, she's been. All in favor of approval of the agenda as written? Say by the word aye.
Aye. They ain't have the same opportunity that in the name. If not, we move to the next thing on the agenda. The minutes was emailed out to each one of you. If anyone had a chance to read them, you read them, move for motion.
May we have a copy of those minutes, please? got an email, I could print them out. I didn't have a chance, but they just recently, send them to us, but I'll get it printed out. And, probably have it available. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's,
Was that what it is? Just got it. I still don't see it.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes. If they want to have a chance to look at it.
Move that we approve the minutes for, our last meeting on, for our, what was that, April 29th?
Yeah.
25th. April the 25th.
Got a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second.
It is over, proper second to accept the minutes. Our meeting on April the 26th, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Could you read them out loud so we could at least hear? I mean, otherwise it's violating, I think, the open meeting.
Minutes have been passed. If I would, don't like to get into council like things, so I ask everyone to be respectful. And we will try to do what we can in here. We got the Ombudsman Report. Stan is gonna be pretty like the people's, so we're gonna try to
Okay, I'll
get
get
to
to
it.
Good evening, everyone. As you can see from the attached sheet, and I will attach these from now on, I do a monthly report to the other agendas so that you all can know the happenings and the complaints that are going on in the Ombudsman office. I also want to say the office is always available by phone call, visit, or however, to ask any questions and get any information you need. Thank you. And, as you can see, the complaints of what the ratio were this month. Though some of those have been closed. This is from April to May 1st, April 1st to May 1st. But one of the biggest complaints also that's been coming in, people are asking for the procedures for filing to complaint. One of them is, you can fill out those sheets and give it back to me, and I'll get back with you, we can schedule an appointment, or we can even speak over the phone. The second is, just come down to the office, give me a call, schedule an appointment. And a document will be coming to board also explaining every detail from the time it comes in, what is done, and how we handle procedures in the office. So that information will be available. And, I wanted to let the board know that, I did interview 4 people, and I selected one to HR, and they just gotta reach out to them. So that's a big relief because, it's getting warm and it's getting busy. So, most of the complaints that I've received that's probably not being accounted for on here is the water lien complaints that have come in. And, that is a great concern for the citizens, and, I'm waiting to get more knowledge about what's going on also. I did read on like a news thing of what may happen, but I wanna be for certain before I go forward making a statement. And, And I have some other complaints that I'm gathering information on, it's a big complaint. But I gotta get more information before I present it and bring it forward to the board. So, that's the good news.
And one had a question about.
I just wanna ask, for the public, information, do you take complaints in the meeting?
They can write it on that sheet of paper, on their complaint form. They can write the complaint forms over there, they can write it and give it to me, and leave your contact information on there, and I'll give you a call. We can schedule an appointment for you to come in, or we can talk about it over the phone. But the complaint forms are over there.
Ms. Little.
Yes.
You stated that, you interviewed, one person
For
what position?
all the analysts.
Okay, and did that person check out in personnel so far? Or is that process still going on?
They still, I don't know if they've reached out to the person or what, so that's, but I told them this is who the candidate, I did the scoring process, and what I was supposed to do, gave them the information, so they will be contacted soon, or may have already been contacted.
Your question, how long ago was that?
What that is in the,
Okay, so.
just a few days.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And a question about, on the report. Okay, with that, I back up and ask a question there that's about mid-hour. We have a report every meeting on what we're doing. She give a report on a regular basis, and anything we're doing, but anything you need that you didn't hear, you can do a written request, and we will give you an answer. One thing people is saying, and I guess I keep hearing every repeat on the swearing in of the bus person. I can't force someone to do it. Our bus person is been hired. Okay, as long as our bus person is not stopping to do their duty, they get their pay, and they're able to do the work of our bus person. I'm not going out and start trying to beat people up to do the job. We're gonna do the job, and we are hired, and that has been taken care of, and we're going to, swearing in when people that got that authority to do it, decide to do it, it will be, but we are moving on with our bus person, it's our bus person, and it's working.
So, Mr. King.
So,
Mr. King, I have a question.
well, Miss, you gonna ask me a question?
Yeah,
I'm not,
you're not taking questions right now?
not that
That's the show, that don't even make sense.
Not if you're gonna, not if we're gonna get into something that,
Yeah.
unless it's dealing with our bus report.
Discriminatory
Well,
treatment.
you can't decide, you can't control what I say. All you can do
I'm not
is
trying-
patiently wait
I'm not
and see what it
trying
is I am going to
Nancy,
say, and
I'm
then
not
you can
trying-
think about it,
I'm
and
not
then you
trying
can
to
choose
control what you
to,
say.
yes, you
I'm not
are,
trying
and you're trying to control the
Well,
conversation. What you can do is hear what it is I need to say.
We're into
No,
old business.
here you go. Here you go. You can listen to what I have to say, and then you can choose whether you decide to answer my question or not. That's it. You started this argument. Now, this is my question, Mr. King. And if our attorney, do our attorney agree with what you just stated about Ms. Shasta Little? She still can do the job and everything without being sworn in. Is that okay?
Who you
That
asking?
she's not.
You asking me or you asking the attorney?
I guess to you, to the attorney, whichever attorney wanna
I
answer the
stated
question.
what I thought.
But I didn't ask you what you thought. I was trying to get.
Well, it's okay with me, cause I think it's okay with me. That's all I got.
So now you Attorney King?
We can have that discussion anytime. We got old business, new business. If you wanna have that discussion,
You
can
said
bring it up.
You
But
said if I asked a question about the ombudsman.
I can only answer
Okay,
one way, and I have answered it. So that's not gonna change it.
thank you, attorney.
Old business,
Brother King,
yes.
do we need to accept the,
Yeah, we do.
ombudsman's report? Move that we accept the ombudsman's
Yes,
report
we do.
for the month of May, the month of,
April first to May.
Second.
Yeah, but motion second to accept the ombudsman report, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carried. We move to old business.
Brother King, before you go to that, it's kind of old business, but it was in relation to what she was saying. I think, the council, the outside council was, preparing something for that, conversation, right? We asked her to, look into the, opinion of the, attorney for the city.
Okay, but, that's something, well, we should probably, if you wanna make that part of, well, that's probably part of the report. The first item on here is committee reports. So if you wanna ask if she had that, opportunity to look at that, feel free to ask.
You want me to speak? Okay, so the agenda has been modified to include me giving a report on what I wrote. I did turn it in today. It's not on the agenda, but I was hoping I would have an opportunity to speak about it.
Yeah, what is probably included in is what I have committee reports. I just sent the signature right out.
Okay, so I reviewed the advisory memo, I think that's what it's called, from Mr. William Kim regarding the appointment of Shasta Pike Little. And the first paragraph is my summary. Mr. Kim's memo is accurate as to Michigan and City of Flint law. It's my opinion that the EAD followed the memo recommendation that the appointment not be implemented, as it likely violates the Flint City Charter and Code of Ordinance. And I reviewed his memo, I reviewed every citation that he's had in his memo. I looked for, other arguments to the contrary, so that you could go forward with what you have decided, but none of those opinions or arguments were winning citations. Yes, sir.
So,
Go ahead.
did you notice their, signature was not, on the ordinance that we, received?
I didn't look at whether.
Is that important? Does it matter?
I didn't look at whether or not the actual ordinance was signed. I looked at what was in Mr. Kim's memo and the attachments to it. I also looked at the larger, document that occurred that day in city council. I'm not sure whether or not signature mattered, but what I saw in the language, that would be a question for Mr. Cups. But what I saw in the language, it seemed like they passed that particular ordinance to put in the job description, and the body, as you're a government agency, is supposed to follow it to the T.
But Chair, through you to, the city attorney, those ordinances are resolution, generated, right? Or they're generated through city council?
The ordinance was passed by city council.
And when they do a ordinance, do they have to, sign it for, it to be, actual law, or?
Right, and we've discussed this before, and it's my opinion that even though the copy of the ordinance that was attached to that memorandum was not signed, it was validly enacted by city council and is valid.
So how can you have a valid, ordinance and it's not signed? It could be a copy, it's still gonna have a signature, right?
Well, and it's primarily the approval process that ordinance went through.
That don't make it authentic to me. I don't know if I'm just saying something, just
I
my
understand,
feeling.
I understand what
It
you're
should be
saying.
authentic from the time that, once you say aye and you have a unanimous decision, it should be signed and turned over to somebody, and then anytime you copy it, it's authentic, right?
Well, I understand the argument you're making, but I have researched the process for the enactment of that ordinance. It does appear to be validly enacted. It appears on the city website in the ordinances. So it's my opinion, it is a valid ordinance.
Mr. Chair, through you to the city attorney, can you give, what's the process of something, of an ordinance like this? What is the process that it has to go through in order for it to be enacted and approved?
Well, one of the things I can't recall with this ordinance at exactly what stage, if it was enacted under the emergency financial manager or not.
2019,
No, this was after, because it has signature spots for Mayor Weaver, Clerk Brown, and the city attorney. So essentially with the ordinances, there is a process that is set out, and I don't have all of the details of that memorized, but it has to be presented to city council, notice has to be given to the public, and it has to go through certain readings so that the public is advised of the ordinance that they are expected to be bound by.
Okay, because I know when it comes to constitutional changes, I do know I know you have to have 3 readings in order to do any kind of amendment to the Constitution. So, when it comes to an ordinance, do you have to have so many readings? Or does it just pass through like committee and then finally, before the council body as a whole, and then voted upon, and then it's enacted? Or do you have to read it a couple of times?
And it's my recollection with the ordinance, particularly this one, there were a few readings.
Okay.
so
A lot of information.
You had record of reading?
I
So-
saw a record of at least 2.
2 readings?
So there were 2 readings on this ordinance?
I don't know if there were more, but I saw at least 2.
Okay.
Anyone else have a question?
So Billy can't ask a question, but
Well,
Mr. Harris
But
can?
the question I have, because I was at the council at that time, when each one of the council. I never saw that comment, and right now, I challenge that never went through. And I'm willing to call the member for the board at that time, and I'm willing to call each one of those council persons. Because I was at every council meeting and committee meeting during that time. And it never come up, and never, and if we read through, I get to it in a minute, this charter, that the mayor, those person have never come under the jurisdiction of the mayor. Never. It always come under the jurisdiction of the council until this charter. This charter brought our bus person under the jurisdiction of this board. Never had a mayor had to say so.
That's right.
On our bus. And I wanted to go to limit, to challenge that, and someone had to show me the 2 weeks that we had to, in order for you to do that ordinance, it had to be published for 2 weeks before we can come to the council. That's the challenge. And some of those things that I keep together here, I didn't highlight them, but if you read through that, the reason I give it to you, to explain that. And also, as you get into the thing about the, ombudsperson and the council, and it tells you, council has the power to vote on all appointment to a board, except, and it's played out in big letters down there, except for the ombudsman, from the Ethics and Accountability Board and the city attorney's office. That's the charter. They do not give the council any power to do, they can vote to appoint you, but it doesn't give them the power to do anything else. When I read the charter, and my understanding might be a little different. I believe that it is something that this board should be willing to challenge. So that's my thought on it, and after the opinion, I'm not one that don't want to accept. Majority of the board is what you want to accept. But that's my reading, and that's what I believe, and that's what on this issue, I'm gonna stand by that.
Mr. King,
Yeah.
to you, through you to our attorney, what would we have to do to make it right? What would we have to do? This has been going on for a long time, okay? There's got to be a solution somewhere. Something has to break, because it's just not making sense, okay? We looked at the ordinance, we saw it. When it was brought up that it wasn't signed, it was immediately said it didn't matter, okay? So now that we're with you and you're doing our analysis for us, what do we need to do? What's the process now? I mean, we can't keep stringing Mrs. Little along, okay? And I know the public is antsy on wanting to get this over with as well. So what is it this board needs to do to make it right? What can we do? Is there an answer to that? Can we do anything?
There are things you can do, and I can provide a writing to you. I don't wanna answer that verbally today without any research.
Okay.
But sure, however, the chair has just said his thoughts. Perhaps you all need to have a discussion to vote about how you move forward. That would be up to you all. And then once you know how or what you want to do, then there is a process that will lead to a solution.
The process being, we have to follow this charter regardless,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
We have to do that. So therefore, we need to get in line with what this says in regards to what we've done. Because we did vote her in, okay? We read the documents and it said that, we had the right as the, Ethics and Accountability Board to select the ombudsman. Okay, nothing to do with council, it was our board to do that. So we went ahead and did that. Then we found out, what, a month or two later or whatever, that the ordinance said we couldn't do that. Well, from the research I have done, the ordinance was not in place with the previous ombudsman. They didn't use it, they didn't put any, what's the word I'm trying to use? They didn't use it at all, okay? That ordinance was not even brought up, you know? So if she was there, I'm not sure how long she was there, But, I mean, I don't see the difference now, you know, we didn't use it for that ombudsman, why are we having to do this now?
Can I ask a question? Was HR involved in any way? In the
Yes.
process?
No, other than doing the, criminal check, background
That's
check,
it?
Collection.
that's all they're supposed to do, right?
Collection of the applicant.
And collection of the applications.
Did they review applications for folks who met the requirements and folks who didn't?
Yeah, they did single out those who didn't meet the minimum requirement.
The minimum requirement to serve as the ombudsman.
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
HR sorted that.
Yes.
Chair,
Yes.
I wanted to answer, believe I can answer her question, as best possible, but in order to, change what's going on with this ordinance, we will have to, ask city council to create a new ordinance in the job description that we prefer as the ombudsperson. And we may have to, put it back out for choosing, but each one of us comes up under a council person, and we should be able to, talk to our council person to, create a new ordinance so that we can get the job description as far as what we want the job description to be like. They had a job description that they approved in that ordinance. We created a job description that we gave to the human resource. So, human resource put it out for hire. He sifted through those applicants and gave us what he felt was, minimum qualifications. We didn't like the character or the skills that came before us. So we put it back out. In the midst of that, we asked Ms. Lillard to be the interim. And we couldn't find no one, or no one else had applied. So we offered Ms. Little that position. Then they brought up the fact that there was an ordinance that was approved by council, and we had to go with that ordinance. So to get away from all that, we need a new ordinance to satisfy our description.
And that has to come from city council.
As I know.
Let's get this one.
So the job description that the board created is not the description in the ordinance?
Let me explain, but I was there and I worked on that when the board first came together. We did the job description. We did the original job description. And, to the end, and at that time, the city attorney was the one that represented, attorney, Sylvia. We did. There was no ordinance. And let me be clear, I'm not, me, the problem I have, because how long I've been involved, is, and it could be what it is, but I don't believe I have a problem with that ordinance, that it was legally dead at that time, until someone can show me the proof. But on me is, when, I don't believe it. That's just me. I don't think it's a legitimate ordinance. It's easy to do something when all your council people at that time is gone, and that our administration say they did it. I just think something that wasn't right went down on that. And that's my concern. And I stand by that concern. But 5 candidates that met the minimum requirement. Only one of those candidates was accepted to the board. And once we went to hire, they declined because of the service package. None of them met the qualification of this board. And they were not accepted to the board. That's why the board voted Ms. Billy, because nobody was accepted to this board. And one other candidate is Ms. Lily. We have a right that we can't get enough application that has satisfied us to pick someone that is satisfactory to this board. Ms. Lily met that qualification. It doesn't matter how many applications you got in, but the main, if you can't pass the test of this board, you're not qualified. We had no application. We had no one that's qualified and accepted to this board. So whether it's by default or whatever you want to call it, it's done. That's all we had. We had to have a buzz person. We're not going to keep them out there. And even with ordinance, there was nobody that was accepted to this board. Except Mr. Bill and one other person. And I don't think at this point there's no reason to be fighting or going on with the discussion because we had no other choice. It was there. It is what it is. And like I say, I don't believe, and I'm one member of the board, I'm willing to fight that case. I willing to fight that we did nothing wrong, and we would have the power to do what we did. I'm willing to do it. And I'm willing to go into places no one ever do, because I know how to get to the facts of it. And if I had to call those council people, and I have talked to them, 3 of them, and somebody last administration, they have no, they can't tell me that we can't tell. Well, I'm willing to call everybody to it. I'm willing to call everybody on this board and let them swear on that ordinance. I wouldn't do that.
You wanna go for it?
With that,
You want it, is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
someone said I can't, sorry, didn't hear.
Is that what you're saying? You wanna go to court?
No, it's already here. I mean, court there, if I want to call the people that is certified, whether they voted on an ordinance that was in power at that time, we do it here, we call that, they can do that. We don't have to go to, that's not a court issue. They don't say they did or they didn't. If they did, I'm wrong. If they didn't, then we got a problem with someone else.
We need to get this resolved so we can move on. This is the only thing we've been talking about. We need to get her sworn in, or we need to move forward on what we need to do to make it right.
Question, so, review to the city attorney, so just to let you know, HR didn't know that this ordinance existed. So when the job description was written, I didn't know that the board had done it for Ms. Dorsey. So when we looked at the job description and then we look at the ordinance, it actually mirrors each other. And for that fact, we went through a series of candidates, the first screening, we were that. And we didn't like the 2 that we were left with. That was the one that they had disqualified Ms. Little for. So what the board then did is, because we didn't know it was an ordinance, the board voted to change the job description. So we opened it back up, we made the modification to the job description, we got a lot more input and a lot more people that applied. And so then Ms. Little also went in before that, because when we modified it, she met those criteria. We weren't informed that we couldn't modify an ordinance that was put in place, again, because we didn't know that this ordinance existed. So that's what happened. And so when they did that, we didn't realize until January is when they said, oh, well, no, Ms. Little is disqualified, and they went back to 2023, they went back to 2022. No, they went back to 2022 when we were first taking applications for the ombudsperson. And so they backdated it to that date by saying that she didn't meet the qualifications of 2022. And that was, again, because we didn't know it was an ordinance. And so that was and so my question is what is in the charter that negates the board's ability to be able to hire Ms. Little? I mean, what is that? I mean, I understand the ordinance is there, but what gives that ordinance that power? If that makes any sense.
Pulling out my document.
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
So the first citation that I reviewed, and these three citations are state law.
Your state laws?
State law, okay? Carrick Distribution Library versus the Library of Michigan. I won't read the citation
Yes.
out loud. But what that particular citation stands for is that Michigan law limits the powers of government agencies to those that are specifically in the statute.
Okay.
So, however a government agency operates, however their authority and powers exist in writing in the statute, that's what they have to follow.
Okay.
That's the basis of what's going on here. What's written in the charter, what's written in the ordinance, you all have to follow that and can't deviate from it. So when you redid the job description, that was the deviation. Because you have to do what's in the ordinance. You can't go up from it, you can't go down from it, you can't turn right, you have to do. So if it says, and it's for all principal officers, there's a requirement, they have to meet each one of those requirements with no deviation.
So because Ms. Little is a principal officer,
Yes.
that's what's holding everything up. That's why, okay.
So I have a question. So who dug up this ordinance if we found out later that, well, before you guys didn't know that it existed? So where did this come from? Who found this ordinance? If I'm making sense.
The city attorney presented it to us as the board. Human resource, as the head of human resource, he challenged the validity of the experience or lack thereof, and so I guess he asked the city attorney to help him out with his argument. So the city attorney sent us the communication as to the ordinance and the qualifications and everything else that we received, the citations and everything.
And that is, human relations got that information the same time we did. It was emailed the same time. They never had that information. It was 2 months after we had hired Ms. Deb. I talked to Mr. Smith and he got it the same time. He'd never seen it, but never heard of it. It wasn't available to him.
city attorney. I worked for the city a long time ago. And it was a clause that if you were an interim for so long, they had to offer you the job after so many months. Does the city support that?
That's
Is
the
that
point.
anything in our
No,
bylaws?
sorry. No, so I think you're referring to Charter Section 1501D, which talks about interim appointments, but it specifically says interim appointments except as to the clerk, city attorney.
For multi-member bodies. But it also go down as you get to 6101, 6 where here, all your multi-member bodies, the duty to organize. And, it's something not what I know.
Attorney Skilling, what is your suggestion and what we can do in order to get this ordinance, even if we gotta modify it, in order to fit the parameters better of today? Because it is, I'm not gonna lie, that ordinance is extremely restricted. Because the only time you're gonna find somebody with that kind of skills is in a larger city like Detroit, Chicago, or Dallas. So when you're dealing with a small municipality like Flint, it's kind of hard to find somebody that fits those exact parameters. So what is your suggestion?
It sounds like you all have, excuse me, different thoughts about it, so that maybe perhaps a couple of things should happen. It sounds like you want the ordinance, it sounds like some of you want the ordinance change to fit so that this little can serve. It also sounds like some of you want to, what's the word? Not disregard, but follow Mr. Kim's opinion and find someone who does fit the requirements. I would suggest that we put in writing, and nothing is wrong with what you suggested as a motion, to talk to the mayor to see if you can get him to change the ordinance to your liking. I don't know how that will go, but if that's what you wanna do, if that's what you all decide to do as a body, that's your process there. There's nothing saying you can't ask that of the mayor. City attorney, they could ask the mayor to change it.
And I had proposed that several months ago, that was a possibility that they amend the ordinance.
And what was the response? Was there a response?
No, I had suggested that to the board.
Oh, to us, okay.
You know,
However, I also think you should also find out what the process is. If the mayor says, no, I'm not doing that, then what's the next steps you need to do so that you can hire someone that is qualified and meets those requirements?
I got you.
But if we choose to fight if that were the case, if we choose to fight, that's why you're here.
Based upon the case law that I've seen, you would not win. Based upon the case law that I've already researched, it's very thorough, years of supportive case law that Mr. Kim's opinion is correct.
and I don't, I'm not, my opinion on that is not the ordinance, it's the legitimate of the ordinance, and I'm willing, that I base what I'm saying on. I'm not, that's my fight. My fight is not, if it's a good ordinance, but I don't, the legitimate of it is I don't believe it.
So,
And unless I have proof of it,
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. What are you gonna do to get the proof? Because you say you have some
well, the board got,
investigative evidence or something you can get.
well, the board has the right to, we can call the ones that supposedly voted on it, are the ones who supposedly I'm sorry.
So I have a question, so
Yeah.
our attorney, is she just here to guide us, or would she be able to write something up to present to the mayor on our behalf, or
She
what?
said, "Is our attorney here tonight?"
You got two things.
I mean,
Yeah.
You got two things going. You got, the request of the mayor to, create a new ordinance since he's supposed to do the principal officers. Then you have Mr. King, who, want to solicit, communications through the past administration and council as far as authentication. So we have to decide on those two things.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the second?
I don't remember what I said. I'm just kidding. So what Billy was saying was that we can solicit the mayor and ask him to draw up a new ordinance to satisfy us, to ask the board, to get approved by the council. Or we could, Mr. King said that he has, communication with the past administration and or council, that he can find out how authentic that ordinance is.
That's, yeah. Not quite the way you said, I don't know.
You said that.
But I wanted to call them here. But let's do something else so we can move. What I would like, and I would put a request and to the state attorney to present to this board, because everything had to be recorded on an ordinance. The process, 2-week process that for the council, when it voted, who voted and how did they vote it, and who presented that ordinance. Those things had to be recorded. And if it's legit, that information will be there, and we won't have to discuss this anymore. The ordinance is what it is. If that can't be produced, then we got a problem. If that's okay with the board, and will we wanna wait on the information back for the attorney and put this on hold until we get that information back and move on?
Mr. King,
No.
through you to our city attorney, how often is it ordinance are overturned by previous mayors? Is that a thing, or?
Well, the charter sets forth a procedure for both the enactment of ordinances and then the amendment or repeal of an ordinance. And certain ordinances in the past, just generally speaking, have been certainly amended and repealed in their entirety.
This would be nothing strange to do. If we wanted to appeal that particular ordinance and have it redone or reworded or however you want to say.
Correct. The charter does have a written process for the amendment of an existing
Do you know where
ordinance.
that's from? Anybody know where that's from?
Well, it's hard to go through some stuff. Ms. Gibbons, did you have something? Wait, why are they looking that up?
So what you said, was that a motion?
That was a question. Think it should be a motion? Okay. Okay, well, I will wait till
Okay.
you get your response back, and then I'll make a motion.
And then also, through you, Mr. King, I also heard that you said that there were 2 readings on the books, in regards to it. I've been looking, I wanna see those readings myself, and there should be minutes posted. If Mr. King is correct, if this ordinance was indeed passed, there should be minutes to reflect that. And I think we should, and I think in this motion that whatever we do, I think we should ask to see the minutes, and we should see the physical copy of those 2 readings of that ordinance.
So I have another thing, okay,
Oh,
regardless
no,
of.
no, I'm sorry. There are a lot of things
Oh, okay.
going on at
Yeah,
one time.
I'm sorry.
And you just should
Okay.
follow it so that you can properly
Right,
request
you ready,
your
Mr.
attorney
You ready,
to do the work you want him to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so the section about enactment, amendment, repeal of ordinances, it starts in 3301. Specifically though, 3302 subsection D, which talks about the repeal or amendment of an ordinance.
Thank you.
What was that, do me a favor, what was that?
3301.
301. But that's, you have.
Okay, let me look at this, let me just say it. What did you
So,
say?
Mr. King, you had said,
I'm sorry. 3.
just to keep your meeting in order, you said there was something that you wanted your city attorney to do, but the board needs to decide that.
Well,
So-
we're gonna make a motion. If that's what you asked.
Yes.
So, Mr. King, I move to put a motion that, that the city attorney is able to provide the minutes and the readings that support the enactment, of this ordinance.
The whole process.
The whole process.
Just a couple things. The records for that isn't kept by the city attorney's office, it's kept by the city clerk down here. So the exact records that you're seeking would be held by Clerk Donahue. She's the record holder. Then we just need to be clear if you want me as Chief Deputy City Attorney, or if you want Special Assistant City Attorney Skilden to research that.
I would like for you, Mr. Crum, to research that. And that's my motion. So my motion, that's my motion. Or do I have to,
Restate it.
should I restate it?
Yes, I heard your motion to be that you would like the city attorney to find out what process the ordinance went through to become enacted.
Correct.
Including the readings, including the minutes, that's right.
And even the vote count.
And the, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was, let me just make sure I'm hearing this. So regardless if the ordinance was passed by council, so the president of the council at the time and Mayor Weaver never signed that ordinance, is that what I'm hearing? They never signed it, right?
Well, we don't.
So
Well, that's what the motion is about, to find that information.
that's what we're trying to find out, if
That's
they
what we're
signed
trying,
it. So as of today, that ordinance is not law and should not be and it cannot be challenged in court or?
We don't
no,
know.
That's not what
We
they
don't know
said.
that.
We don't know that?
Yeah, we get this.
So can we subpoena, Dr. Weaver and the president, the council president at that time?
I'm sorry.
Or
That's what they
too
just-
much?
So
That's what they just-
Okay,
for.
all right,
It's,
okay, I just make sure that's, okay, just
We
clarify.
have a motion, we have a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second. Can you state it?
And the motion is law. So I think we all have understanding, that we have been, proper motion and second on the floor, and then discussion. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call.
Joseph King,
Okay, can we clarify the yay and the yes or no?
that's what I'm doing.
We're doing a roll call.
No, she said, what do it mean?
What?
What do it yes
Clarify
mean?
yes or no?
Oh, yes mean that you, support the motion,
Okay, all right.
and they mean you do not
No
support it.
meaning no.
I'm Joseph King,
Yes,
Linda Booth,
Yes.
Patrick Julian,
Yes.
Billy Dansler,
Yes.
William Harris,
Yes.
Frida Williams,
Yes.
unanimous.
and the motion has been passed. Unanimous, the next thing.
But I don't think we submitted it to the mayor's, I think we
But
did.
you have that,
What?
Yeah, we have it on file with, I think HR should still have that.
I just sent it to everybody, the revised version.
The revised?
HR,
For HR?
yes.
Okay, so.
Even you, attorney still.
So, should,
Does your city attorney have it?
I sent it to him also.
Okay.
oh,
I just sent it to you.
so I think we might wanna wait until we get all evidence back and get further clarity on that, and then we
Could you
move
resend
forward.
that?
And,
Can we make a motion to have a timeline as to when this is gonna be finalized?
well, as soon as we get that permission from the city attorney.
I know it's not gonna take that long, but we need to wrap this up. That's my suggestion. We need to give ourselves, within the next 4 weeks, it should be wrapped up. The next 4 meetings, we should have all the information we need, and we need to wrap it up.
So, you're saying,
Well, yes, my understanding, when we made the motion and we got the information back, is that information told that as an ordinance, then, so we had to go with that. If it doesn't, if that information not there, then we still have to make it.
You mean those readings and what we're speaking of? That's what you mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who's gonna, okay, never mind, he's gonna go with, he's gonna go to the clerk's office and do all that, okay?
That was the motion, and that should give us a clear direction.
All right.
Next meeting. Next one. That because of time, I don't think we have any more committee report that's ready. I'm gonna move down to the new business. And we would deal on that, and what you all will see when I got new business, because I have concern with monitoring here's a problem. And you notice they dug, it was, they confronted the Doug Matthew. And the reason I put that on there is because of some disturbing things that I'm seeing coming from this individual. And I've been in this city almost 60 years. And the first time I understand this person jumping up on the scene had been less than a year ago. And he seemed to have his habit, person attacking. He started out person attacking, which was an ombudsman. Then he come to this board with one of the council people and started attacking board members. Now, I've been around where he seemed like he have a obsess with me, and I don't know the reason. And it's a concern of mine because I deal with teenagers in Alabama. I deal with Ku Klux Klans, and I deal with narco people, but I never a white supremacist I deal with, but nothing like this guy. I don't know his motive. I don't know what his motive is. And that's a concern. He went so far that I don't know what his reason is. I've had people showing me stuff that he put of mine on social media. I don't do social media. And certain stuff is my, I don't know, but I get to that. The first day some years, I guess he wants to have not paying property tax.
You don't
But,
want to bill too?
I don't, because I'm 100% disabled veteran, there's a reason for that, because I carry wound from the service. So I don't pay property tax so much as how much is my water bill. While I don't use as much water as he do, I don't know what it is. But when people get that obsessed with me, and all the emails and stuff I'm seeing that come from social media, I don't know the gentleman. I have no idea what he's capable of. And the only thing I could think is, at this point, that I'm gonna have to, he been watching. So any gesture he makes, anything that he do as my president, I might take for, because I don't know what he's capable of. That he probably has something that probably won't be bottom arm, and I'm not gonna let that happen. So which means that won't take much for him and my president, I'm gonna have to do some things. I have to do some things, but what I will do, and now I'm saying, I got board members that he had understanding that he's been putting letters in the mailbox. That's something, actually, that's probably federal law, federal thing, but I can consider that as stalking. I'm here and I let the board discussion, so it's thing like we are probably gonna have to, I'm ready to take the personal protection order on it, and for the whole board, but I don't know what to do, but people come to your house, it's dangerous. I'm listening to you. I'm opening it up, I'm opening up the floor. I'm just getting into the reason this is on, why I got this. Because for me, it's dangerous. And I will protect myself, not knowing who he is or what he is, to say that with the right mind. And I don't understand. I don't know whether he got some white privileges. Out there, some slave master mentality.
Come on.
I don't know whether it just, maybe he just have another feeling for me, I don't know, but that ain't, I just don't, I don't understand where he at, he got a problem. So I'm gonna open up the floor, I've said enough, and let we open for discussion.
Before I came on board, was he a candidate for the job?
Yes.
This was the origination of him? Okay.
No, I take it back. This was before he wanted to come before the ombudsman, because it came out of his mouth that he was being considered as an appointment, and he wanted to come before the board to see how we operate and how we do things before he considered accepting the position. Then when he found out that the ombudsman's position was open, then he submitted to go for that job.
So that's how
And
this
he
all
was
happened.
interviewed.
And that's how all this happened, about 9, about 10 months ago?
The first one?
Yeah, I think, back in July.
It was in
No,
December,
I
January?
mean, when he first came before us, that was back in like July of 23.
Let's not talk specifics.
I got you, sorry.
All right, I was just wondering how it originated.
Well, anyone else got a question?
I would like to say, I was home all day and I received this, letter in the mail. I went out to check my mail and I got this and it said hand delivered. Now, he didn't hand deliver this to me, he put it in my mailbox.
That's
And when I went out, I said, oh, and I opened it up, and it's, something that was emailed. It was emailed from Mr. Matthews to the buzz person, and a copy was submitted to someone else, and this was submitted 5/13/2024. So, and he also put a copy of a memorandum to all ethic and accountability board members from Mr. Matthews, 7th Ward, and, addressing misconduct and non-transparency EAB process. And he had been before us before, and we have, discussed his concern and everything. And this, he sent a carbon copy to Ms. Little. Now, this was put in my mailbox, but I got, Ms. Little made copies of the same thing to present to us. So there was no reason for him to come to my mailbox. And, it's against the law. A mailbox is only supposed to be, utilized by, the U.S. Department of Mail, only. And you don't supposed to put flyers or nothing in anybody's mailbox. Even a family member, if they tell you to put some in that mailbox, and that postal service person catch you, can be fined for that. Because that mailbox is your mailbox, but it's, you got U.S. mail going in there. Somebody can actually tamper with your mail, putting this in there. He could have took something out of my box. I don't know. And I was home all day, so it is against the law. And, it's on the website. It's against the law for you to go in anybody's mailbox for any reason, unless you, delegate a rep for a family member or something like that. It's illegal to go in anybody's mailbox. So, we have people in the community, they wanna hold us to standards, but they out here doing all kind of stuff. So, and I don't know why he was in my mailbox. It's intimidating. It's like he's serving me papers. I don't know. I don't know what his purpose is.
That's why we didn't know about it.
It could have been anthrax in here or something. I don't know. It was open just like this. It wasn't sealed.
But didn't a council person or a council member come to the board and express their concerns about this individual?
Yes.
A few months ago?
Yes.
I mean, we heard that, we knew what was going on, but again, I think we just, disregarded because of who the person was who told us, their fear of this individual. So now that they're come knocking at our door, now we wanna take matters, we wanna do something.
If I may, actually, no, that's not completely accurate, because Ms. Burns did come before us. She did, but Mr. Williams, when he came back, was saying that what she said kept him from being selected as the ombudsperson.
He came a couple different times.
Yeah, and
she came a couple different times.
correct, and if
So where am I inaccurate?
I'm saying, if you remember, I did speak out against that, and I said that what Ms. Burns said did not hamper him in his selection for the ombudsperson. I said, because that was done a month before she came before the board and told us this of what Doug was doing. That's why I told Councilwoman Burns that what Mr. Matthews was accusing her of, which was tampering the selection process, that what she said kept him from being a part of the ombuds, from being selected as the ombudsperson because she was an elected official. And I said that the board had already made that decision prior to her coming before us and making that statement about the ombudsperson, because she didn't know that we had selected an individual.
Candace came and supported him with his threats.
That's right.
Him and Candace Mushaw came in here and she supported him with his threats against Tanya Burns. That's what happened down here. Didn't he come down here and she brought that here? That's what she brought to the Board of Ethics and Accountability.
No, what year was it? what she came, when he came in with this.
I wasn't.
You wasn't here, then. That's what Miss Billy's speaking on.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're speaking on
I-
something that you don't know about, B.
I did not know that a prior interaction had happened before that. I was only dealing with what I had spoke with in
Well,
January.
you need to apologize to her for telling her she was incorrect. That's just only fair.
Let me, since I'm out. When he came in with the staffer, he come in here and attacked several of the board members.
Yes.
He came and attacked several of the board members. And when I came off of there, he skipped his, but out of here. Say anything. But, and I have a problem with that. I have a problem with him. I have a problem with elected officials coming in and then someone attacks the board and don't say anything.
But this is my thing, Mr. King, so where do we do now? You know,
What?
because the elected official came on his behalf, because that was her resident. And, I mean, where do we go, what do we do now?
We're gonna put suggestions, I'm hoping for suggestions for the board. I know where I'm headed. But, what do the board do? Because it's a problem with the whole board. There's some personal stuff going on that I'm not sure dealing with me that I'm gonna deal with, probably deal with a different way. But we can't have people coming attacking the board. Coming up to people's houses and stuff, that's a good way to get shot.
Got that right.
And
Got that
because
right.
these kind of things, he's out of control. He's out of control. Maybe that's something that we had to deal with legal.
Yes.
Had to take a stand with. I would deal with our own stuff on legal
But this,
way, yes,
I got another
And-
concern, Mr. King.
okay, I got you, and then I have Ms. Booth. Okay, so you go ahead.
Okay, so we're talking about this individual, but what about our cameraman who, was violent during a council meeting towards one of our residents, one of our elders?
What are you saying, who?
Our cameraman.
I would like,
Yeah, that needs to be a conversation.
well, that's a conversation we could have, but we're dealing with Mr. Matthew right now.
I got you.
I
don't want us to
Let's
forget
deal with-
about
let's
that.
deal with
We'll
Mr.
hold you to that.
Let's
Okay.
deal with Mr.
See,
Patrick,
attack
because
the ladies
when we get through there and get everything thrown in, we don't get in.
Okay.
So let's deal with this.
Okay.
I'm Ms. Booth.
I would like to, make a motion that, we file a, complaint or something against Mr.
Yes.
Matthews for his behavior, in general.
Yes.
You know, because this is kinda intimidating and he can't keep doing this.
Yeah, that's the other.
Who do we file that?
With the police and with the feds, that's a federal offense. Putting that in her mailbox.
Okay, we probably have to go, I can go to the post office and do it.
These are things that we do as a board. How do we protect the board?
See, I don't
We
have
can do,
his
we can drive
address.
individual.
He had my address, I don't have his.
We can find it, we'll get it to you. Somebody knows.
Well,
And I don't have no problem with my address being out.
while I say we have a board of safety, I'm gonna have a problem with this show up in here, they do everything. I think, not knowing what it might be. I have one thing, and I expect, some kind of, and I don't know. How do we go about, I don't wanna make it, right now, he can't come to a meeting without something wrong with him. But, whether you're intimidated, you're a problem to, someone coming in, I think they're gonna do something, it's open, but no, let's be clear. Let me be clear that I didn't live
So
70-something years without being taken care of, being foolish.
So can the,
Let some people, I got a couple other people ahead of you. And let some other people, let something, I'm not sure what they might do. Somebody I knew for years, I knew some about it. It would be a different thing. But this was crazy, and I don't know their motive. I don't know their motive, and it's just that they do. Me, I'm gonna think that it does something good at the house. And that's a fact. And so to stop that from happening, for me, stop it from happening. I don't need them at this meeting, so we can put whatever, we can put a PPO on or whatever. But I would not, not gonna be in my percentage, and I don't know what he's gonna do.
The pension is right, you would have to do that individually.
Well,
Yeah, that would have to come.
if he's a threat to all the board members in here, that's not for them to send a threat to everyone.
I agree.
That's right.
So we have that option, I would think, and I would refer to the attorney, is, Joe, what do you,
Well, a couple things. Number one, I can't specifically advise an individual board member on what they need to do. I'm the attorney for the Ethics and Accountability Board, not any individual member. As far as what the Ethics and Accountability Board can do, the exact powers are spelled out in 3504 of the charter, and then 3505 also has some other items that the board can do. They specifically refer to violations of the charter. So any actions taken by the board would have to tie back to some type of a charter violation or an ordinance violation, of course.
So there's nothing that we can, so through you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Crubbs, there's nothing that we can do as a board as a whole?
I haven't really examined all of the options that the board has based on that. Again, it seems like, and I can't advise you what these are, but it seems like there could potentially be options for the board members individually. But I'm at the moment struggling to find what the Ethics and Accountability can do as a board, given the powers granted by the charter.
Versus them doing something individuals themselves.
Correct.
Okay.
The individual members certainly have options of
so
what
I have a question to the chair through to you. So can we assign them, officers to escort them since they received, letters?
Well, that would certainly be a question for Chief Green. That would be something that would have to be raised with him.
Okay, I thought that's what they were doing.
So if you have a personal protection order personally against him, then you get to this meeting before he gets to this meeting, he can't come to you.
if the person, BPO, wherever, man, he's gonna have to, he would have to, you have to leave anyway.
You don't have to leave.
In order to do the BPO, after there, you had to first file a police report. Then you had to go to the county clerk and do a PPO. That's the procedure for that. The problem, and that's where I'm having some difficult understanding if it was, elected official, appointee, city employee, we might have some other option. We're talking about a private citizen. And that's where the complication comes in. Yes.
But if the police, escort them to and from the meeting, then they would be as board members and not as, individual citizens, right?
the issue is what,
Some people have cameras.
I don't know whether state laws or anything that would deal with something like this or what, but it's,
I ain't scared, don't come on back, we ready. Come on back to my house.
but we can, I would take, some type of motion of the board on what we might do, what you would like to do.
It is now 7:34, so.
Okay, we gonna get out of here. We got a couple other things I wanna do before we get out, but I think we're a bit concerned. So we want to make a motion to look at one other individual. Or do we just wanna take this discussion and move individual on this?
Was anybody else do it? Was it just she and I, or did anybody else get one in their mailbox?
No, you're not the only one that's got it. I haven't got on the mailbox. I have been harassed by him as well.
Well, he is not stalking. Yeah, he's stalking.
They got that on camera.
Stalking in person and, yeah, what you call, internet stalking and stuff. Stalking. Stalking is stalking but I would entertain a motion on the table this next meeting, so I got a couple of things I want to go with that. And I think we should start taking some, looking at. So, anybody wanna make a motion to table this for the next meeting, for another discussion?
So move.
Okay, been moved and brought supported to table this. Next agenda, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and because of time, I'm gonna skip a couple of things here. There's a couple of things I have, people, that we
Oh,
need to.
why are you just recording me on your, social media platform?
Paul, she
What
said
you
Paul.
talking, you
Paul, he
talking to
bothering
me?
folks when he be in these meetings.
Never mind. He-
Well, we'll do that real quick. But two things I have that got more to, we got tired of and all the difficult stuff. I think we're wasting our time. But there's a couple of things that is important. One is look at accountability. And when I look at the charter, there's some things I see that there's probably violation, big violation on the state charter and the city charter on gifts. And I would rather for us, looking at those, getting into that kind of stuff, after we had to get rid of the whole city, we're not gonna do away with it. But accountability is something that I think there have been some violations of the charter. City charter and the state charter. When we look at it, and I would like for you all to read that and come back at the next meeting. But there's something else going on that I'm seeing, and I don't think it's processed. I'm looking at this Oak Park thing. And I said for sale, but there's a process for selling the city park. And it gotta go before the voters. By the charter. And that process, I don't think has been followed. I mean, those are accountability things I think this board should be, that's where we should be spending our time at. So, I did my research, but we don't have time to put in discussion this evening. But we gotta get on top of those things. That's where we gonna be the enforcement challenge. And I would like, I'm gonna make sure those to the dome. Until August,
On the second Tuesdays.
on the second Tuesday. Another month, we got the dome for the next, for the
Up
next
until
3 months.
August.
We don't know after that, but, I think the city should have we should have a permanent place that can hold the people's public when we meet. We shouldn't have to be coming over.
Can you repeat that again? Second, what?
Second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday.
Last month,
Okay, not the,
June, July, and August.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
And
Second Tuesday, we talk about meeting at the dome.
So that's the first Tuesday, that's our first meeting of the month. It's gonna be-
I'm gonna request extended it past August also, but right now it's approved up to August.
Okay.
but with that, we have a whole lot to. So we have more time to take care of business at that time. The other thing we have is next Thursday meeting falls on the Memorial Day week. And I don't think anyone's gonna be.
You said the next meeting falls on Memorial Day?
Memorial Day week, yeah.
Oh,
Memorial Day week,
okay.
the week of Memorial Day. And
23rd.
my suggestion is that it's up to the board what you wanna do. You want to council or you wanna meet earlier or what do you want to do?
I also wanna add, for our next agenda, that we add, how our council members, speak to minors. Yesterday, there was a situation that occurred at the council meeting that I felt was inappropriate, so I wanna add that to our agenda.
Okay,
And
would
discuss
you,
that.
and I tell these board members, if you, I'm not gonna remember all of it, but if you got something to put on the agenda, just text me and call me, and I put it on the agenda.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody know that.
Yeah, and that will work better. You can, I can put anything you want on that, but you have to let me know. So we're back to the meeting, what do we wanna do about the next meeting? Do we wanna cancel the meeting, or do we want to meet early? Meet early. I need a motion on the floor.
So you wanna move it to 16?
This is whatever the board, we're not done to the meeting. But if we, this is calendar, this is Thursday. So if we meet, if we move it up early, maybe we're gonna meet next week.
Yeah,
On the
We got 3 minutes to go.
on the 23rd.
We got 3 minutes to go.
I'm waiting on the board, to let me know what you want to do.
I put forth a motion that we cancel the last Thursday meeting and we reconvene the first meeting in June.
And that would be.
Motion second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.